Earlier today, I was coming.
So there's only 2 action items.
Thank you for the text.
We're live.
Okay, anyway, so should I go back?
We call the meeting
Let's
order.
call to order.
Okay.
Yeah, leave the attendance, approve the minutes.
Yeah, call a meeting to order. And we got Justin, due to the fact our president is not here this week, you're the acting president.
Okie dokie.
Congratulations.
I move that we approve the meetings from the January. I can't. I'm sorry. Do we have a motion? Do we have a motion to approve the meeting minutes from January 15th?
I make a motion to approve the minute meetings from January 15th.
Second.
The motion, all opposed?
All in favor?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Okay, the motion passes. Meeting minutes are approved. Looks like this week on the agenda,
We have,
any new business?
one item would be, the annual legal services engagement letter for Yoder annually Elmer and Buckingham. It's the same as last year, but with updated fee information on that second page. I'm happy to answer that. Oh, for sure.
Professionals, projects, agreements, engagement under employees, separate engagement, projects. So this would be an engagement letter from the RDC directly,
Yeah.
where before it was just kind of functioned by proxy as the town council.
No,
We've had an engagement.
yeah.
Okay, so this is just to
We've done
renew
this.
the
Yeah,
engagement?
yeah.
Okay.
This is for legal services for this year.
Okay,
We do one every year because, well, one is your terms are only 1 year, and then basically annually we need to contract for those services.
got it. Okay, I just wasn't quite understanding, but yeah, that makes sense.
One item, well, I guess one thing that's changed is that I'll be billed at the partner.
I know, congratulations.
Thank
How long have you been there?
That was effective January 1 this year. I've been there since 2019, so.
Make a motion that we approve the legal services contract for 2026.
Right, all opposed?
All in favor?
All in favor.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, passes, so we'll sign this. Should we wait just to have, should I sign it or should we have Jeff sign it?
You can sign. And I don't know if I put on Jeff in there or not, if it's blank, but you just print your name underneath the signature line and write in presiding officer.
Okay, and then Matt.
Okay.
Any other new business?
No, we just had some discussion earlier about future annexation. No action to be taken on that, but the drawing is there.
And the yellow lots would be The yellow and the green, or just the
green-
yellow?
The green is existing.
Okay.
And the yellow is the addition.
Yeah, so
Underneath that, there's a-
what you have there in front of you is a sort of just a draft resolution to add those yellow parcels highlighted in yellow to the TIF district. As Matt mentioned, the green outline is the existing TIF boundaries, and the yellow parcels are in the process of being annexed, which that annexation is expected to be finalized sometime this summer. Once it's finalized, we can then pass this resolution, which will go through a series of approvals. After it goes here, it goes to town council for approval. Then, or I guess it goes to the plan commission for approval, then to town council. And then we will publish a notice of a public hearing, which will be held here for final approval. And then upon final approval here after the public hearing, it'll be effective for the addition of those parcels.
Okay. So this is basically just to keep the TIF district in line with the town boundaries.
The TIF district in yellow, or in green, I believe highlighted on that exhibit is a portion of the town boundaries. We're adding those parcels because there is expected development.
Right.
So we want to capture the increased assessed value from the currently agricultural land, which will be, what's the development?
Talk about stuff.
Manufacturing.
It's gonna be manufacturing, roughly 35,000 square feet, and RV related product. So it'll be a telephone business.
So that should be a good parcel to add and should generate some good revenue for future.
The reason it's actually going there is because his current, his existing property is landlocked, and nobody is interested in selling anything. So this became available. And we snatched it up.
So this resolution is something we would consider once
Once it's in the town.
And that annexation is complete. Okay.
Your jurisdiction ends at the town limits, so once it's in there, add it.
Cool. So is there an action item for this right now?
Not
Just
right
to
now,
discuss
no.
it. Okay.
Just sort of information.
So it makes sense.
Has there been any sort of request from the town for the Economic Redevelopment Commission to make any sort of capital expenditure for like infrastructure or anything to these new lots?
Not that I've heard. I assume there'll probably be morning water and sewer. That could be a request the town makes to help extend water and sewer services to those parcels. But yeah, nothing that I'm aware of.
Because that would fall kind of firmly in our wheelhouse, right? Like spending money to improve infrastructure so that we get development, which leads to more
Water,
taxes. Yeah.
sewer, any road improvements related to it, although that might be a county road yet. So.
It's kind of free, and I think it's roughly 142. Is it
142.
not close to 3, no, does it 1 or 3? So it's not the reason for the.
It'd be one of the three.
I'm sorry, 103 is what I'm saying, 103.
Okay, well, I guess Rob, just keep us in the loop as that progresses. If you're looking for any funds for the infrastructure out there.
Alex is fully aware of what's going on and is actively involved, and we've had lengthy discussions over the last couple of months about this possible development and how we will actually get out there. There's talk of eventually reaching out to the RDC for assistance. So,
I think there's intended purposes to run water and sewer out there. I think the bigger piece of discussion is improving, which we've had these conversations too, is improving the water system and water pressure out that direction.
Yeah.
So to support this, we would need to do that.
The booster pump would
Yeah.
handle that. That's the purpose of the booster.
Mhm. Is that still the plan, the booster?
well, yes, but it's changed a little bit, so it'll be a combination of a high-speed or booster pump, but in the existing plant, in the new plant, not the existing, after some work with JPR, they've been doing some heavier investigating as to whether or not the booster at the old plant is necessary, or if they can utilize the new equipment and then put in ERVs, which at least I believe are SCADA controlled electronic valves that will regulate the pressure down there, closing off one portion and forcing more pressure to the south to facilitate a fix of sorts. But there's also talk of eventually possibly putting in more storage out there. So possibly a new water tower out at the south end of town, which could then permanently and additionally fix that problem.
Longer term.
A longer term fix, and it would increase the fix clear up State Road 19 and address any issues that could surface out there as well. So they're in the process right now of determining how big that tower should be. Right now, they're doing all kinds of feasibility studies to determine if that's indeed a good approach. But in the short term, through these installation of 4 or 5 valves, could be a good short-term fix, if that makes some sense.
Which the water treatment plant is a tribute to our Yoder and Alex, a big part of how much savings they've had on the water treatment plant. There will be a good portion of money, bond money that's left from that project that could be put towards something like a new water tower.
Yeah, a significant amount.
I don't know this exact numbers yet, but
Roughly speaking, a new tower, we were hearing anywhere between $2.5 million to $3 million for a new storage facility for tower, or storage tower for water. So, but they're not sure how big. They even talked about the necessity of it, or if they do create it, and it would fit the need there, it would create such a case that the east water tower would be rendered no longer available. So there could be the possibility of removing that water tower, which right in front to me seems, okay, well, we can do that. But that's, engineers are talking about all that stuff right now. So I have no idea what all that's going to involve, but I do know that there could be enough money to, and the water treatment funds we have to use for water treatment. So any of this money, any fees related that end up coming back have to be used for clean water.
Could they be used at the lagoon project or anything? They can't.
Water, wastewater, and water treatment are two
They sound like they'd be similar.
Yeah, just close, just a
No, it's
couple.
just two opposite ends of the spectrum.
Is that it?
Sure.
One's coming in, one's going out.
One is influent, one's effluent.
So definitely you want to keep them separate.
Yeah, absolutely.
As much as we possibly can. At least by a mile or so.
Yeah, right.
But no, so that, but there could be some real positive things. And a lot of it is a testament to Alex is just his understanding of how it all works, and the significant amount of money that has been saved with that project because of his knowledge base and just the things that he's been able to do by being very, very actively involved and then partnering well with our Yoder. It's been a really, really good marriage for Walker's and Tucker and our Yoder. Our Yoder's just been really incredible. In fact, so much so that they've kind of become a preferred contractor for us. They're great.
And you guys, and that's all running and working good.
Well, they're not completely online yet. We've got, surprisingly enough, we're having problems with NIPSCO. So there's the thing they've got to do is they've got to degenerate power out there so that they can finish hooking up people more on this far more than I know, to hook up the generator. And then it's going to take them roughly a day to do that. Then they need to regenerate same day. So we're struggling with getting NIPSCO to say, hey, we'll be there. That's been problematic.
Okay.
there was a fix on the aerator.
Correct. There was an engineering, I want to say it was an engineering snafu. And so we should, the hope at that point was to be operational. But there's a pipe that goes from the aerator out or into the building, or even from the building out to the aerator. I'm not sure exactly how the whole system works. However, there was a leak there. There was an engineering problem. So
Overhead pipe, they had to put a brace on it, so it didn't move back and forth.
have you been in there yet? We really need to have you guys down there so you can see how incredible it is. It's overwhelming. I mean, you look at our old plant, and then you look at this new plant, you're like, how in the world did we ever survive? But, so the aerator had to be fixed, which involved our Yoder, it involved DLZ, and it involved, I believe, Maddox. And so, and all that took some time, the finger pointing and all that craziness went on. And so now they decided that they're gonna split the cost to fix it, and they don't have to get into a contingency fund, because it was not our fault.
Yeah.
Then Alex also pointed out where the water comes in, goes through the high-speed pumps, it travels up, then it turns to the north at a 90. So this is a lot of pressure on a 6 or an 8-inch pipe. So as Alex looked at that, he said, I am concerned about movement on that pipe because it goes up this 10 or 12 foot leg, then it goes 42 feet over to a 10-foot leg that comes down and it's processed into filters. But that much pressure coming up and turning that 90, we were definitely concerned about movement this way. And Alex pointed it out, and they sure enough came in and had another engineer look at it and said, this will be a problem. And so they had to fix that. So that helped things up as well. So he's earning his keep, to say. And by the way, it's, he's going to be back this next week. He's been off for 3 or 4 weeks now because of his surgical procedure. But he's doing well. He's feisty. He's anxious to get out of the house, so he'll be back to work on light duty next week.
And then, to turn on the water treatment plant, I don't know that we have a date,
They
but
were,
it should be soon, next
Yeah.
month, maybe.
Yeah, once the power thing's sorted.
Once they
and
get
get
the
a
power
chance to
thing
test
sorted out.
everything and all that.
Do they like dry run it, like where they would have both on one and then decommission the other, or is it just like a
it's
hot
process.
switch?
It's kind of a gradual process to kind of break the plant in
Mhm.
before they go full bore, is
Yeah.
my understanding.
That makes sense.
Is my understanding. But we really need to schedule a time to meet out there as a committee and just see what all is involved. But it's and everything is SCADA controlled now. Everything. So, and it's tied to the new office complex, and it will
The
make
station, the CSO, the towers,
everything,
yeah,
everything. Towers,
so much
and
better.
including electronic valves in the ground, which will address this early, or the booster problem early on. But, I mean, they're doing it, and they're doing it right, and it's an impressive facility, to say the least. And for $14 or $15 million, you would hope it could be. Regarding the lagoons, if you'd like me to reiterate on that, we are moving forward with sludge bugs, and that was JPR. And by the way, do we need to, am I interjecting ahead of time? Dean, is there anything else you need to talk about water treatment?
No.
Okay, so the lagoons, the sludge bugs is this enzyme additive, I believe, that they put into ponds 1 and I believe 2, maybe as much as 3. But what they do is they literally go to the bottom of the pond and they just start eating away at the sludge layer down there. We've got, I believe in pond 1, we've got 1.5 feet and about the same amount in pond 2. And that needs to be removed because it's affecting overall capacity and so on and so forth, and many other things that it's leading to many other things that we need to repair. But we've got to get that sludge level down, and we can do that with these bugs. And over the next year to 2, they're saying they can literally decrease the amount of sludge at the bottom of those ponds by 70% or more, which will literally save us millions of dollars from having to drain the ponds and then excavate those all the sludge out, and then haul it away. And you gotta find someplace that's willing to take it. But anyway, so we're excited that JPR has come up with what we believe, and we're hoping will be a great solution. But everything seems to indicate that it's a good first step, and then again, we need to mechanically remove it.
Again, I think that was Alex's idea.
That was Alex's idea as well.
Got on board with it.
It was-
Supports, yeah.
It was one of those days I walked into his office, he said, "What do you know about sludge bugs?" Not a thing. Is it a Volkswagen?
Never heard of it.
But, so, and again, he was, yeah, so, and then, so he spearheaded that, introduced the concept to JPR, they said, well, let's, and they had heard about it, but they never really done it. And so, once the research was done, it made sense to do it, so we're hopeful. Then regarding the EV, treatment, that, pardon, what'd I say?
EV.
Electric vehicle treatment. The UV treatment of the water from Pond 5, which discharges into Boggle Creek. That will be UV treated through this device from Trojan Enterprises or Trojan Industries, I believe. But that kind of gives you the specs on it and gives you an idea of what it does. But that's a device that literally sets down into a structure which we need to manufacture. We need to build that structure. And that will be a separate contractor that will do that, but it will be engineered by JPR. But then once we're ready to actually begin the construction of that structure, or we're ready to move forward with the project, we will probably put that out for bid. Alex is not to a point where he's ready to do that yet. There's some research that needs to be done.
I mean, we're most of the time right there with where our numbers need to be on those, but if there's high volume of water, then we.
Yes, you can
My
engage that and
understanding.
disengage that,
Oh, okay.
is my understanding.
It would be depending on what the
Yes.
testing's showing and whatnot for bacteria that's going. I mean, already the water that comes out of the lagoons is cleaner than the water that's in Boggle Creek to start with,
Correct.
but
Yes. They haven't really convinced me of that yet.
yeah. But I mean, the testing that we do, they test the water before and after, and like the water that comes out of there is literally cleaner than the water that's in the creek to start with.
Yes. And so a lot of this, I believe, is also just ongoing maintenance, things that are going to give us the opportunity to get a lot more life out of those lagoons without having to spend $30 to $40 million on an action plan.
Yeah,
We don't
well,
want
no,
to be.
no.
Yeah.
And it works so well, and
It works well, and it's a great
better for
source
the
of revenue.
environment.
It's great for the environment. It actually provides us a bird
Yeah,
sanctuary.
it is, it's excellent,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, it's really interesting to hear the number of people that want to go out there. They want us to open the gates. Can we please go out to the ponds and
Yeah.
take pictures of the birds? No, there's a liability concern there.
Somebody's getting it, and someone's
Yeah.
swimming.
Somebody out there fishing. What in the world is this? I've never seen fish like that. But what it also has allowed us to do, and allow me to digress a little, or just kind of go a little wild here. There are things that we want to do. Someone has approached us recently about, we would love to see a bike path in and around Wakarusa, and hey, we've got money, we would love to throw money at that. So we've also said, talked to people, hey, we would love to see greater walking paths, trails in and around Wakarusa. But we could literally encompass that area on the outside of the fences, and you could, the whole bird sanctuary thing is, you could literally build observation decks that would go up, and you could go up and look at birds and so on and so forth. It'd be just another amenity to the town. You could walk out around there, so on and so forth.
Would it smell?
No?
Very little. It
Very,
doesn't-
very little.
Yeah, it's actually very beautiful. back
It
there.
is pretty. It is pretty. On a really hot, sultry July day, you wouldn't want to stand terribly close to Pond 1, but it's not
No, it's
horribly
not.
offensive.
Okay.
There's no like aerator type stuff out there.
Well, and there's
Really
talk of that
bad,
as
but-
well. That would increase
Yeah.
the stench. I mean, just to let it go out there and take its 6-month cycle to get from Pond 1 to Pond 5 is 180 days for it to go completely through. And it's inexpensive, it's highly efficient. So
Yeah, I'm all for it. I just want to make sure that we're not building like, infrastructure around something that stinks.
Yeah.
There's
That
probably.
doesn't go out there sometime, it doesn't.
But
I mean,
anyway,
there's houses right adjacent to that. I don't know if you
there's-
really get complaints.
and by the
about
way, we
that.
also sprayed for midges, those bugs remember the bugs last season that there are millions of these things flying around. Well, they breed in the ponds and then they come over and they camp out at Westgate. So,
They were real bad last
They were
summer.
bad.
They were even all over my house.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
So Alex did some research on that and found a company that would, using a mammoth drone, this drone is
Yeah.
12 or 15 feet, it's just enormous, and they can go out and spray that for
$50.
$50.
Yeah.
Now, it won't always be that way, but
Yeah.
the first one, but even every spray after that, I believe would only be $400
Yeah.
to treat the midges. And so
That's
it
cool.
really
Yeah.
mitigates the midge problem, so that was kind of cool. But so we did ask for the council to go ahead and just approve that we use the RDC money that was made available to pick up the UV, pardon?
The equipment fee.
The equipment fee, so that we don't have, there could be possible price increases that we don't want to incur. So we went ahead and decided to pick that up, and then we'll be able to store it in the maintenance building until probably, we're talking later this
Yeah,
year.
and sometimes there can be a long lead time.
Yeah.
So it
Equipment. The other part's just concrete and steel. so-
Concrete and steel.
benefits us to get it now.
That's
and
great.
then put it out for construction.
So that total expenditure is right at just under $110,000. That's what it comes to.
Do we need to approve anything with the change of scope, or was the scope just broad?
Yeah. I think it was just wastewater or improvements.
I just wanted to make sure if we needed to just write something down that the UV filter is fine for the money.
That would be one of the, I can't remember exactly the language in the resolution towards the, we pledged it
I
towards the
believe you
project.
pledged towards lagoon improvements. I can't remember what that dollar amount was.
Wastewater lagoon improvements.
So that'd be covered under that expense.
If we're good. We could also just do a quick, I just want to check. Make sure all the
Yeah,
i's are dotted, and
Yeah.
t's are crossed.
And there will be ongoing maintenance that the town will do, well, and that's what led to the initial to begin with, because I think it's almost approaching $4 million for the renovations we wanted to do out there. We will cut that tremendously. Anyway, that they approved the Public Works to go ahead and move on the procurement of that piece of equipment. Any questions about that? Anything else going on?
I don't think so. Is there any additional new business that we need to discuss?
So
I know there's going to be exciting things happening out on Skid Row. So there's talk of that. When Castile, by chance, he works at Tourist Trip. And I saw him today, so I know that just to hear him talk there, they've got big plans, big ideas, so it's gonna be exciting to see what comes from that.
I believe we need to plan a May meeting, which would be May 21st according to our regular schedule, is correct?
Do we have agenda items for every meeting as of right now?
Yes, we do. We'll have a couple of annual items that we need to do,
Okay.
mainly being the allocation resolutions and the tax certification regarding a tax replacement levy. So the allocation and the levy, the certification is that we're not imposing a levy because we don't need to. And the allocation resolutions are resolutions that we need to pass on an annual basis saying whether or not we are willing or able or going to pass on any of our TIF funds to the underlying tax units. That would basically be us saying we don't need the funds at this time, so we're going to pass it on as it would normally be taxed. Historically, we've always passed them saying we need the funds and we're going to use them for redevelopment projects like the water treatment.
Sure.
So those are one thing we need to get done before June 15th or
Okay.
so. So usually we do those.
Sweet.
And after the budget. So it's usually has to be.
So the 21st.
21st at 5:30.
Work for you? I need to look, because that's usually when I'm in Chicago, I think, for the NRA. No, it looks like it ends the 20th, so I should be fine this year. I think I missed it last year because of that, so I want to check. Okay.
I think the motion we adjourned. Second motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? No? All right, motion passes.
Okay.
Alright.
Great. Great. Exciting things.
Is everybody keeping water out of their basements?
I've just, pretty much for the last 100 years, I think there's been like a small stream. And it just goes right to the sub pump and out the house, so hasn't been a problem yet. But we don't have like a finished basement.
Where do the copies come out of this thing? I was gonna make you a copy.
Right below.
Right below? Okay.
Yep.
Okay.